Yo, what's good, Scorpio? Welcome to your Align by Sign. Let's get into it. Okay, so Scorpio, everything is under the Tower card, which suggests that we're probably not feeling great about September right now. The good news is we've already seen this coming, probably from a mile away. The Tower card is never a card that talks about something that we're ignorant of. It's just that the collapse of it can feel sudden if we haven't been paying attention to the details and signs all the way up to this point. And I think that has more to do with pride and like wanting to show up in the ways that we're promised. When the Four of Swords is at the heart of the reading, crossed by a Nine of Wands, we're really just seeing how difficult it is for us to maintain what we put forth when we declared our values and kind of set ourselves to the task. The other thing is like, this comes from a perspective of recognizing how valuable some of our recent connections have been. And so some of it is just really, really wanting those things to work out because they seem like dreams come true. They seem like perfect counterparts. And in some cases, we're going to need to weather the storm and just kind of recognize when to rest, picking our battles energy. But the main thing to consider is that right now we've lost a little bit of the spark and we don't really have the right inspiration to charge forward in the ways that we might want to. And especially the inspiration to hold up the walls as we witness them crumble around us. It's probably better for us to just make a smooth exit and try to get back to some semblance of peace based on what we've had some experience with. Essentially, everybody needs a safe space, and being adventurous is not always the answer to solving your problems. Sure, we've learned some things by stepping out of our shell a little bit over the past however long. I want to say like maybe 6 months, but right now we're really seeing like the consequences of stepping a little bit too far outside of ourselves, getting a little bit too adventurous, getting a little too bold about what we're offering, and really not taking into account what we're seeing. And I think it's because we're dealing with reflections of times that we were a little judgmental about the people around us and kind of put things on them that led to a bad outcome. That's not always the case. Sometimes you just see some shit and you got to call it how you see it. So while we're feeling like we're in a little bit of a jam, the good news is because we saw this coming, we also know the components and we know how to avoid cuts from the reverse Nine of Swords that's in the advice part of the reading. There's going to be a little bit of maneuvering required, but it's gonna take you being very steady and focused about where you want to end up or avoid blame. I think the biggest part is avoiding blame. If you focus on avoiding blame and coming out spotless, you're really going to have a tough time. If you just let people be disappointed and move on, knowing that you can't control everyone's perception of you, you're going to find it a lot easier for you to maintain a sense of self as you maneuver through this month. Some of the outside influences I would say to keep an eye out for are people just testing you. Page of Cups shows up and it says like there's going to be a way that people test you where it's like it's almost flirtatious or they think that it's like cute. And I honestly just feel like we have this sense of it not being very cute to us right now. And so I think it's going to be important for you to kind of just draw a line, draw the boundary, to refer back to the tarot point. To refer back to the tower point. Cut the lights. You know what I mean? And in some cases, they're not going to come back on. So I think that's just, it comes down to, thought that was a bug. It comes down to just allowing things to fall where they may, allow the shit to be fair, as all's fair in love and war. And honestly, they picked the wrong one to fuck with. Now, that being said, once we do everything that we need to do in the dark in order to get out of the pickle that we found ourselves in, the Four of Cups shows up at the end and says, even if it feels like we've lost a step, there's going to be something developing in real time that we can find a lot of value in if we take the time to witness the process. And I think that comes down to familiarity. When you're dealing with representations of success as it's come in the past, you can tell the difference between the experience of winning the game and there just being a trophy. And when there's been a trophy and there's no game, someone's playing you. It comes down to recognizing how you've applied yourself and crediting yourself accordingly, so that when the rewards and the awards show up, you know that it's because someone truly witnessed your greatness and not because they're just trying to sweet talk you or get you to do what they want by way of manipulation. Sometimes you gotta let it fall. With that said, best of luck in September, and I'm looking forward to finding out how it goes next month. Hope it helps.